Yesterday was a weird day. Arsenal go away from home and get a point. They've now beaten City and Liverpool at home and drawn with them away. And I have seen the world change. Genuinely, the world change. I heard one of the most decorated presenters and pundits on TalkSport today come out with the claim that no team that goes to win titles draws away from home against their title rivals. I've heard claims that no team ever has won titles by being slightly pragmatic away from home against rivals. I've heard that this is proof Arsenal can't win the league because they're not brave and they didn't open up and leave themselves vulnerable to Manchester City attacks. And I don't know whether it's me because I'm on loan at Arsenal. I don't know whether it's me because I'm an Arsenal lover and I always defend them. But I had to today. And I had to because it's bullshit. But I really had to because the greatest manager of all time and the hero and legend of my club, Sir Alex, quite literally stated, you beat them at home and at least draw with them away. He did what Arsenal did yesterday umpteen times in my life. And to suddenly see football people state that what Arsenal did was a disgrace to the game, it's not a good advert for the game, and that no title-winning team has ever done it. I don't care if you hate Arsenal. You can't go around lying about football. You can't lie about football as far as I'm concerned. And I wanted to go to a gal first. We'll come to the rhetoric after the game. But what did you personally make, or a bit later, what did you personally make of Arsenal's defensive masterclass and performance yesterday?
Terry, what did people expect? We're not Liverpool. We were not going to go there and we were not going to say, let's just go play a basketball game. No, you guys seen the game in the Community Shield. You've seen the game at the Emirates. They were both cagey games. They were both tactical games where either team were just trying to get the edge to see what was going to happen. And you want to know something? We played Man City this season twice in the league, and they haven't scored a goal against us. So when people keep talking about, oh, Arsenal were playing defensive, Arsenal were playing anti-football, Arsenal were doing this, we weren't here to entertain you. That's not the goal. I remember Chelsea fans, I remember other fan bases getting at Arsenal for only playing entertaining football and not winning anything, not even striving to try to go and succeed. Now that we're doing that, it's all of a sudden, this is not what we came to see. I think people are more upset at what they were watching than actually watching the game and saying, you know what, fair play. Arsenal went away to the Etihad, neutralized Kevin De Bruyne, neutralized Erling Haaland, neutralized world-class Phil Foden, but yet everyone wants to talk about Bukayo Saka's poor game. Yes, he did have a poor game.
What was your prediction? What was your prediction for this game?
My prediction before the game was actually 2-2.
That was your prediction.
My prediction was 3-1.
Guys, we'll come back to that in a bit. Let's just marinate right now.
Yeah. So I just want people to realize that Arsenal Football Club, our best strength, our biggest strength is not our attack. Our biggest strength is not even our midfield. Our biggest strength is our defense. So when we lean on our strength, why are you surprised? When a team utilizes their strength to help them in the game, that is tactics. That is the definition of what Mikel Arteta did. He said to Manchester City, you've been scoring all these goals, you've been winning all these games, and you know what we had to do? We went there, first half, everyone's like, oh, it's all Man City. When you actually look at it, they only had 4 touches in our box. Come the end of the game, they didn't even have that many touches in and around our box, not too many shots. And I feel like the best chances actually fell to Arsenal. If we were a little bit more clinical, maybe we could have capitalized on the game. So to me, Terry, I think Mikel Arteta's tactics were spot on. And this gives me now more hope going forward for the rest of the season and also in the Champions League, because I've seen us up against the best teams and we've given them a big problem. And I think a lot of people who are criticizing us, they need to open their eyes and just realize that we're for real. And I don't even want your credit until we go and deliver the trophy, because that's what we have to go do now.
I hear you on that. Don, I know we'll come back to what people have said prior. But on Arsenal's performance, thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it, my man. And Rory's jumping in with us now as well. Welcome back, Rory. Don, what did you make of Arsenal's performance? Because it has received from a lot of rivals, of course, City fans and pundits, heavy criticism. But do you think that Arsenal got their approach spot on and have walked away with a good, positive result in this title race?
Listen, for me personally, I was surprised that they played like that because, like said when we played Man City away, I said Arsenal have got every chance of going to the Etihad and beating them. So I thought they would stick to their game plan, you know, go out there and play how they usually play, and the defense will still be able to save them because off the ball, Arsenal are good. They keep a good shape. They've got Declan Rice now. They've got Saliba. They've got Gabriel. You know, I've spoken about Arsenal's defense all season. As much as I didn't like how they were attacking start of the season, I said defensively they definitely improved. So I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't go for it. But end of the day, they'll take the point. For me, it's hard to judge if that point's going to be enough until the end of the season. Let's see how they get on now between now and the end of the season, if that's going to be enough. But for me, I honestly thought this was the best time now for Arsenal to go there and take it to City. Because like I said, City aren't invincible at the back. You know, you guys got through there, Terry. Look how you're struggling this season. You know, we gave them a good game. They haven't beaten us this season. Do you know what I'm saying? So I honestly thought that they'll go there and attack them. But I'm not gonna say Arsenal are they're not a serious team for going out there and playing the way they did, because end of the day, they had a game plan. You know, if they were better in the final third, it could have been better. They could have potentially won the game. I think Odegaard in the final third was poor. His final ball was poor. Tross had an opportunity as well to square it to Martinelli. He didn't do it. You had Jesus getting in good areas as well. If that's De Bruyne, he scores. Jesus, we know he's not clinical. So again, the ball went off the pitch, right? So how I look at it, I just think that Arsenal could have mixed up a little bit more, because we spoke about this earlier on Saeed's channel, yeah. I think they could have mixed up a little bit more, and I just didn't expect them to be that negative, that defensive, if that makes sense. I thought they would actually take it to City.
Do you know what it is with this result, right? This is one of the results where we're not going to know the significance of it until the season ends. But these are the positives for me for Arsenal, right? Arsenal done something Liverpool's never done in title race against City, and keep a clean sheet at the Etihad. The way I saw this game was the immovable force in Arsenal's defence against the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Arsenal's defence and City, especially at the Etihad, to stop City from scoring for the first time, I think it was since November 2021, is crazy. And if you go to the Etihad and play football, you're going to get popped. You're actually going to get popped. And I feel like rival fans actually need to calm down on this Arsenal outrage, because we're criticizing Arteta. We criticized Arteta last season for not doing what he did on Sunday, for actually being pragmatic, for actually adapting, for actually having a game plan. I actually have to respect the result to a certain extent, because I wanted a draw. I thought it would be a draw, and we got a draw. But the fact everyone's like, yes, Arsenal have been scintillating this season. Yes, they've been aesthetically pleasing, but you can't necessarily go to the Etihad and play that football. I understand what you're saying, Don, as in Man City have looked frail at times, home and away. But I just feel that would have suited Man City if Arsenal went there and played. The fact they kept a clean sheet, and yes, it means they dropped to second, but there's still 9 games to go. I think Arteta needs credit, and he adapted, because we were cornering him last season for this. We were cornering him last season.
Drawing away from home. Sorry, drawing away from home at the Etihad.
Clean sheet as well, Terry.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Yeah, you could, if you miss out on winning the league by a point, go after. They won that game. I think it's more not beating Fulham, and you know, those are the where you should be winning, that you would focus on. I read a stat today, and I haven't done the research to clarify it, but I read a stat that during title race seasons, Klopp has never got 4 points off of Pep, as an example, and Pep hasn't got. Maybe I read somewhere that Pep hasn't done the same thing. So Klopp has never done what Arteta has done at this moment in time. Yet I have never seen Liverpool or City. I tweeted about this earlier. It's fascinating how Pep and Klopp tend to struggle away from home against each other in title races, and yet never have been scrutinized for it. But Arsenal draw away from home at the Etihad, first team in 3 years to stop them scoring, 57 games at home, and yet suddenly that makes them mere pretenders and not a serious club. That's why I can't take. I get where you're coming from, Don, and what you expected. But why are
I never said they're not serious?
Okay, Terry, it's simple.
They're not serious. It's simple.
Don, let me finish my point. Let me just finish my point. I said other people have said that. Even with you saying that, I expected them to go there and open up an attack. I don't understand that. Arsenal did exactly what I thought they would do. The mistakes they made is that I don't think the manager started with enough pace in the team to capitalize on counter-attack opportunities. There wasn't enough speed. He made his substitutions too late. So there were some elements that Arteta still got wrong. But how many teams, if I ask you guys this question, if you could name me 5 teams, I'll genuinely give somebody £200 cash. Can you name me 5 teams who have gone to the Etihad during Pep's era, played open, expansive, attacking football, not counter-attack, but attacking football, and got positive results?
We went there this season and drew 3-3.
Okay.
We literally did that in the first half. We made the Etihad our home.
Again, I don't think you played open, expansive football. You still were solid. The way people were talking about Arsenal attacking is going there, opening up, and being gun-ho and attacking and leaving themselves exposed.
Terry, to answer your question,
I don't see anybody doing that against them. I don't think anyone does.
Terry, 1 minute done. To answer your question, Terry, you asked why is there so much scrutiny on Arteta, and unfortunately it's as simple as this. It's because he's not won anything. The reason why Klopp and Pep don't get scrutinized as much is because they've actually got something to show for it. Listen, if Arsenal win the league, you're going to see the scrutiny less for Arteta next season, because it'll be like, you know, he's been there, he's done that. So to answer your question, I don't necessarily think it's fair. I think Arteta should be, in my opinion, praised for what he did yesterday. But the reason why he's still going to get so much scrutiny is because he's not done what the other two have. That's just the half truth.
I think you're being a little bit too what's the word? Like, I'm not saying Arsenal should just go there and forget defending. I'm not saying that, because everyone knows Arsenal defensively have improved, right? And like I said, off the ball, Arsenal keep a good shape. But what I expected, like I said, is for them to attack a little bit better. Cool. It might have been individual performances that weren't great. Like I said, Saka weren't great. Jesus wasn't great. Havertz was just okay.
Martinelli should have come on before Trossard as well. That's what I would say.
Like I said,
but they're managing his injury as well. We're not. I mean, as a club, we're not just going to throw our players. We're not just going to throw our players in the deep end against the Man City team that can rip us apart as well at Etihad. Now, let me start by saying I predicted a 3-1 victory because I believe in my team. Yeah, because I believe in my team and I believe they have the capacity to go there and do it. And we had City had one goal, one shot on target against us at the Etihad. One shot on target against us. Think about it. You had all the possession, but you had one
at the Emirates too, though. At the Emirates too, they only had one.
Same thing. Arteta deployed dark arts, and everybody is pissing themselves. When this team did it to us, Porto, these are the stats. We had more ball possessions. We had when Porto did this to us and deployed the dark arts, and they scored one goal at the end of it. Everybody, the same exact thing. When other teams do it, it's okay. But when Arsenal deploys it, all of a sudden, it's now, you're playing negative football. No. Listen, let me finish.
Finish and I'll go after. I'm going
to go to Kate next. I'm going to Kate next.
We did what we needed to do. Listen, we did what we needed to do. Arteta did what he needed to do to get what he felt he could get out of there. I know the players have better capacity than that from what I've seen, from what they've played against other teams. I believe that team is strong enough to go in there and get 3 points. Bottom line is, I mean, at the Emirates, I remember Man City fans saying the reason that we beat them is because they didn't have Rodri, because they didn't have De Bruyne. Well, now you had Rodri and you had De Bruyne this time around at the Etihad, and you still could not beat us. It ended being a draw. So what are we talking about here? We did what we needed to do to get it done. Simple. So if you don't like that, well, go hug your transformer.
Kate, over to you.
No, all I said, I mean, I think the narrative around this whole Arsenal thing is horrendous. For me, Arsenal did exactly what they should have done. If they'd have gone out all gung-ho and Arteta had gone and played open, expansive football and they'd have got battered, it would have been the same, Arsenal bottled it, Arteta's naive. And I would have been the first person to come out and say it, I'm not going to lie. Whereas the fact that they've gone out and played cagey, at the end of the day, you know, people say, like I've had Tottenham fans in my chat today say, yeah, but we went to the Etihad, we played our way and we got a draw. Yeah, but we wasn't going for a title. At this stage of the season, you cannot afford to drop points. And a draw is obviously far better than a loss. And it keeps them in the race. So for me, I don't understand where this criticism of Arteta's come from. I think he did exactly as he should. I think a draw is a fantastic result at the Etihad. And yeah, I just think the narrative surrounding it's all wrong.
We can't have it both ways. Because we can't have it both ways. We've been bigging up Arsenal defensively. When I'm saying that, okay, I trust Arsenal's defense to be good enough to allow Arsenal's attackers to do even better up there, it's, no. They just had to sit back. I'm literally bigging Arsenal's defense up and saying... They didn't
just... But Don, I think what you're missing is a really important fundamental here. In terms of the approach play from Man City, they were really good. City, I don't think Arsenal we're going to sit back. Arsenal were forced into sitting back for large parts of that game because Man City are really, really good. and they couldn't. And there were times where Arsenal were trying to play out, and City were giving them the ball. The goalie was under pressure and was making mistakes. That's because City also did. When people said it was a boring game, I wouldn't want every match to look like that. I never find those games boring, though. I actually find them, it's almost such high quality that it becomes a bit of a stalemate. And I'll give you an example. The period of the Premier League that I thought was the best was from about 2004 to about 2010. And so many times when Man United and Chelsea played each other in that period, they were horrible, boring games because both teams just kind of cancelled each other out. And that is what we saw yesterday. City dominated the ball, but then they couldn't break down that solid Arsenal defence that you mentioned. But if Saka and Gabriel had not come back and helped out, and the fullbacks were then isolated, they would have got played through and they may have conceded. What they got wrong yesterday is there wasn't the speed on the pitch to break on that counter. And yeah, it would have been nice for Arsenal to have been able to dominate the ball there, but it just didn't happen on the day. And I think that this idea that Arteta just said, right, guys, I don't want us to try and have the ball. I want us just to sit back and absorb pressure and try and counter. I don't think it was as basic as that. I think there was an element of it that was forced in the game due to how good City were in possession, because City still are the best team in the world. I don't think we should be forgetting that.
I think I think rival fans are basically just mad at the fact that we didn't get crushed. That's it. That's why they wanted to.
No, we're not.
No, Staffy. I'm not talking about you directly.
I'm happy with the result.
Listen. I'm not talking to you.
Me too.
I'm not talking about you directly. I'm not talking to you directly because I've been in spaces where people are like, yeah, you didn't play your way, because if you played your way, you'd have been beat. That's what they wanted. February 2023, Arteta went to there, played expansive football, 65% possession. We lost 3-1 to Man City.
I know, and I said that on the last show. I agree with that.
We had more possession. So he's come back, he's learned from his mistake, he's done what he thinks he needs to do. I thought he would release the players to play the way I thought they could play, and how I believe that. I thought that, but I'm a fan. I can think what I want. The manager knows what he's doing when he gets there. So I can think whatever I want, I can wish whatever I want, I can hope whatever I want, right? That is me basing it off what I watch and what I think the players are capable of doing. But the manager knows what the player is capable of doing the morning of the game. If he stopped his toe coming down the stairs, if he brushed his elbow, if somebody got hurt in the bathtub, the manager knows all of that and knows why he decides to play a certain defense style. Last minute, it's on the manager. But what I do know is at the end of the day, Arteta did one thing. He learned from last season. He did not lose this season at the Etihad, which is a step up for him. We have not won at the Etihad since 2015. Arsenal has not won a game at the Etihad since 2015. So to draw this game under Arteta's watch, for me, that's a step up for Mikel Arteta. Because
I agree it's a good result, Dave. Listen, let me just get my take on this.